Oh, ho, ho, ho. That's right. What is up, Jeromes? Happy Thursday. We got our daily Vikings live stream going on now, and I'm actually early. I'm like a minute early. It's the first time we've ever arrived early. So thanks for coming in. We got some Q&A. We're also going to take a look at the worst mock draft ever, which is mine, and then we'll talk a little. So we put out to the call for questions of what sports story would you like to be seen? Would you like to see be made into a movie that isn't a movie already? So there you go. Live chat, fire up. How we doing out there, folks? Also, let us know what's going on in your hood, where you're watching from. We'll give a couple of shout outs later on the show, as well as what movie do you want to see be made into a movie? All right, so me. Now, I always pose the questions, and then I don't think of the answer myself, so I got to think about it first. So. The Khabib Nurmagomedov story would be interesting. I mean, he grew up in Dagestan, wrestling bears and whatnot. So that certainly would be interesting. Oh, the Andy Ruiz, the Mexican boxer, would be great too. I like any boxing movie. I really do. Where I'm not an overt boxing fan, but anytime there's a boxing movie, I'm in. Even though the plots are generally pretty formulaic, and you know essentially what's going to happen throughout the story. But I mean, like the one about Vinny Paz was great. The one Hands of Stone was really good too, about Sugar Ray Leonard and No Mas. I really like all the Rocky movies, except I feel like Rocky 2 and Rocky 3 is certainly dated. I mean, that's definitely very 80s. I feel like Rocky 1 is timeless. I actually think that Rocky 2 is better than Rocky 1. I feel like there are parts of Rocky 1 where they're setting up the Rocky backstory, which just lag. Just really do lag. Rocky 4 is the best of the early ones. Rocky 5 does not exist. I was a big fan of Rocky Balboa. Not a lot of people like that one. I really enjoy that one. And then, of course, what gets into Creed. I mean, come on, baby. Let's go. I'm actually going to have to think about it. Turn the mic up a bit. Mic is low? No, mic should be good. May need your ear check. All right. Also in the chat, Connor LeCan, what do you think about James Morgan? I think he is a big, solid prospect from Florida International University, but also he grew up in Green Bay and is a massive Packers fan. So I don't know. I mean, are we petty enough to use that against them? And to completely take him off the big board because of that? Yes, we are. All right, so diving into. All right, so we just released the full video about our mock draft, so we're not gonna go into full detail, but I don't know. Like I wasn't overly in love with doing this. I know that a lot of people who a lot smarter than me do this for a living, but I don't know. I had a lot of fun doing this, and just think about through every pick. What I suggest, especially. What I suggest, so go to the Draft Network's mock draft machine and just select every single team. It's a good way to see who's been taken, see who's remaining, because I feel like sometimes it'd be kind of hard. It's like, all right, so this guy, and you go through the entire mock. It's like, oh, I forgot Javon Kinlaw. Oh, he's on the first round. I'm such a hack. I'm really rough. Reed Homadal. Why did Mike Wapchall get fired? I still have no idea, and I don't think we're ever going to find out. It's very odd. But whatever. But yeah, for me, I do think that there is going to be a significant run on quarterbacks early on. I debated the Dolphins trading up for Herbert. I mean, maybe they could sit at 5 and he'd probably fall there too. But also, if there is a team that is really digging on Herbert and really see him as very much above Jordan Love, I mean, maybe they go up there. Like, hell, maybe the Patriots. If you're a Dolphins fan and you're confident that Herbert is going to fall to 5, and all of a sudden the Patriots swap up with the Giants right ahead of your ass and grab him, and then he turns into the next Tom Brady. I mean, how much would you be kicking yourself? That'd be pretty rough. But yeah, overall, Vikings come out with C.J. Henderson as well as Jalen Reagor. I'm happy as a clam there. All right, so fire up in the Cyberbully123 played against J.J. Taylor in high school. You probably lost. Bro. Yeah. All right. So first one's from Huss Gamer. So the question of the day, if you're just joining us, what sports story do you want to be seen? Do you want to see be made into a movie that isn't already a movie? So the Adam Thielen story. The Adam Thielen story is still going on. If they capped it off with a Super Bowl, that'd be pretty amazing. I think there's a Kurt Warner movie, isn't there? Because I feel like that's actually a thing. Here it is in all of its glory. Uh-oh. Hate when things move around. All right, so Underdog, the Kurt Warner story, the American Underdog. Kurt Warner story is based on upcoming. It's made by Lionsgate. Sure. Who plays Kurt Warner? Film announced February 20. All right, so they haven't even started filming yet. But that's because Kurt Warner. I mean, people sort of sleep on the Kurt Warner story of its amazingness, where Kurt Warner, University of Northern Iowa, in their stupid jabroni indoor stadium there, and then all of a sudden he comes in like he's a tryout with the Packers, I believe. Oh, by the way, the Packers in the Favre years, they had so many like really interesting backups who became something around the league. So Aaron Brooks started for the Saints for a while. Mark Brunell, Ty Detmer, Matt Hasselbeck, Kurt Warner. There's a lot of interesting names that came through. So I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple too. But yeah, Kurt Warner washes out with the Packers in like a camp arm tryout. And then he goes and plays in the indoor arena league. So the Iowa Barnstormers, who greatest helmet of all time, by the way. Helmets, there we go. Which I think the indoor league has been like closed for a while. Yeah, look at that sexiness. That legit is the greatest helmet of all time. That's pretty damn good. That's wow. All right, so Kurt Warner. Yeah, now Kurt didn't go to NFL Europe, did he? That's Mark Bolger, right? Or maybe he did. All right, so yeah, Kurt Warner. This is a great pod. It was really good, or whatever it is. Yeah, Iowa Barnes. Look at that helmet. That is a freaking amazing helmet. It's great. And then he comes in and becomes a backup to Trent Green. He was stocking shelves at Hy-Vee, by the way, to make ends meet. And then all of a sudden, 99, he's the MVP and wins the Super Bowl as captain of the greatest show on turf. Which, again, that's pretty amazing. But yeah, whatever. So yeah, Thielen. Coming up, Pride of Detroit Lakes. Started off. He's watching Chris Carter just make these amazing catches. And Randy Moss as well. Works his way up. Multi-sport star in high school. Doesn't get any love. The Gophers don't even want him. What? So he has to go to jabroni-ass little Mankato State University on a $500 scholarship, which would barely buy textbooks, right? And then he works his way up. He's just lighting things up at Blakesley Stadium. Yeah, and then he does great things. He's Adam Jerome Thielen. He's a UDFA tryout of the Vikings. Not even a UDFA tryout. And then he makes it. And then he works his way up on special teams. And then he has almost a 1,000-yard season in 2016, except they phased him out intentionally. They didn't give him targets week 17 against the Bears because they didn't want him to come in with a 1,000-yard season in contract negotiations. That's a full-on conspiracy theory. Look it up. It's actually legit. Then 2017, busts out. Second team All-Pro. Let's go, baby. The Pride of Detroit Lakes. Let's do this. And then he wins the Super Bowl. So who would play Thielen in the movie? I mean, who looks like Adam Thielen? No. I would pick, Chris Pine. I mean, do you get a little bit of Thielen vibes there? I mean, Chris Pratt, for sure, except I feel like Chris Pratt's in everything. I mean, Hemsworth, except, Hemsworth, Aussie. I mean, how well is he really going to translate to, NFL again? But I guess #acting, sure, whatever. Chris Evans. I'm just only picking Chris. Chris Evans is pretty close. Chris Evans, just imagine a backwards St. Paul Saints hat on that. That's Thielen. Yeah. It's not bad. All right, so that's my pick. Chris Evans is going to play Adam Thielen. All right, so that was the first question. Again, if you're just joining us, we're talking. We got Q&A, we got draft, and also we're talking about sports stories that you want to be seen made into a movie. Captain Kirk versus the Sea of Black and Gold. So Kirk winning the playoff game. Yeah. Who plays Kyle Rudolph in that game? And who played Kyle Rudolph? What's it? Not Jesse. Jesse Plemons. Yeah, there you go. All right, so I always thought that this guy, so Jesse Plemons, he's in Breaking Bad. He's a bunch of other things as well, like Game Night. He's in Hostiles too. He looks like a combination of Matt Damon and Kyle Rudolph. He really does. Like if Matt Damon and Kyle Rudolph combined their DNA and had a progeny. Yeah, it'd be him. So he would play Kyle Rudolph in the movie. Who would play Kirk Cousins? God, I'm trying to think who's like this robotic looking mofo. I would type in blonde actors, except I'm afraid so what results may come up. So like clean shaven. Actually, instead of trying to get someone who looks like him, I would just pick like Jason Biggs just to play Kirk Cousins. Because why not at that point? All right, so yeah, Kirk Cousins movie. Question: how much percent do we trade up to the Bucks 14 and most likely be there? Who'd you choose? I would say right now like 8%. I think it's relatively low. Like I know they kept saying wide receiver, except there could be a run on wide receivers 11, 12, 13 Jets, Raiders, Niners. But at 14, say there is a run on wide receivers, that means some serious talent is going to be there. So maybe C.J. Henderson is there, maybe Javon Kinlaw is there, maybe Clavon Chason could be there. So I think that could certainly be in the mix. Or hell, maybe one of the big tackles falls. Maybe Andrew Thomas takes a draft day tumble. Maybe there's a gas mask on video of him somewhere. I don't know. Jacob Worley. Bold prediction: Everson gets cold feet and ends up coming back to the Vikings on a team-friendly deal. And I would love to see a Packer story turn into a movie, but it's a comedy where Will Ferrell... ... maybe I think it's pretty low chance that Everson maybe he gets spurned by the Seahawks. It does sound like they're the primary team that's in them now. Except I could see Everson still getting a decent-sized deal before the draft. And by decent I mean like 6, 7, 8 million. And it could be in the vein because also I think he does get signed before the draft because since he opted out of his deal, he doesn't count against compensatory picks. I mean, team's still factoring that in. Yeah, the Packer story about owners. Will Ferrell is Curly Lambeau, which I mean could make a lot of sense. Yeah, a little bit. But if you're into poker, he looks like Dewey Tomko. But yeah, Will Ferrell plays Curly Lambeau, and somehow, some way, he schemes the good people of Wisconsin into pretending that they're owners and just buying up these sheets of paper, or whoever does that. Jesse Plemons plays Mark Murphy. There you go. Seth V. Herman. They have to make a Brett Favre documentary called "I'll Retire When I Get Bountied" and watch some Tajay Sharp film. I really like that guy. Do you think if they come on the draft with a bunch of slappy wedges, are these questions getting cut off, or what was the ... Oh, there you go. All right, so Favre documentary. I mean, a Favre movie would be great, and actually Chris Pratt. I'm just putting Chris Pratt and everything. Chris Pratt, because he needs help getting work. Yeah, Chris Pratt as Brett Favre. That'd be pretty good. I want to show you my Danny Woodhead. Name my penis Danny Woodhead. It's not even a joke. It's just respect him as a player. I like Tajay Sharp. I think he could be a really solid wide receiver 2-3 for the Vikes. If they come draft a bunch of slappy wide receivers and he and BC are 2A, 2B, kind of like Thielen Diggs were 1A, 1B, I think for sure. But also, I don't think that they'll come away from this draft with empty-handed at wide receiver. I really don't. Like even guys that you're going to get, say in the 4th round, like AGG, Tyler Johnson, Fuller from Washington. I mean, there's still some really intriguing names that you'll get later on in that draft. Harvey Melber, possible landing spots for Trevor Lawrence 2021, Bears, Broncos, Colts, Jaguars, Lions, who gets them? I think right now it might be the Bears. I think the Bears are in full-on implosion mode, or did they trade away their first-round pick next year? That could be a part. I mean, are they still in hock for Khalil Mack? Probably not. But yeah, I could see the Bears going complete south. I think the Broncos will be competitive. I actually like what Fangio is doing. I mean, maybe the Jaguars... maybe the Jaguars are fully on committed to the tank. Lions is a sneaky good one because I think the Lions are actually going to be worse than the Bears. And I think Bob Quinn gets fired. I think Patricia obviously gets fired. So, yeah. Spencer Vaux. Say everyone in the Vikings as a live stream's career ended, whose number would you retire? Well, I thought about this. I mean, 22 and 84, just because, Harrison and also the players that wore 84 before. I'm not really down. I've changed my mind on this. Like, the retiring of the number, I mean, it's great for that player, but I think that a better way to have, essential immortality is to keep the number in rotation, but reserve it for very special players, right? So, because how often have we thought about number 10 for the Vikings, or 80 or 88, etc. But we always talk about 84 and how it gets rehashed and reissued and whatnot. So I actually think that is a better way to go. Although that means it probably wouldn't have gone to Cordero. It might have gone to Treadwell. So maybe not. Hell, 84. If it hadn't gone to Irv Smith, probably would have gone to the Vikings first round wide receiver this year. So T. Higgins, no pressure. Here's 84. But I mean, the way that the Cowboys doled out 88 for a while. I mean, Drew Pearson, Michael Irvin, Dez, or even going to college like Bama quarterback number 12, USC linebacker 55, LSU DB number 7. I think that's cool. I think that really is. So frankly, if the Vikings or Oklahoma linebacker 44, if the team just started doing that, just sort of informally instead of retiring the numbers, because eventually the Vikings are going to run out of numbers too. Like I think one of the big reasons why they haven't retired Randy Moss 84 is because they already have 3 receiver numbers out of circulation, 80, 88, and 10. So, yeah. Tristan, do you think BC Johnson could be a wide receiver 2 this upcoming season? Me personally, he played extremely well for a 7th round pick. I think he certainly can. I think he's got the right attitude. He's got the work ethic. I think he is a really good possession receiver. I think he's really good intermediate, second level as well. And he's an extremely polished route runner. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on him. Still, it was a phenomenal rookie year last year. There were some growing pains. He isn't a complete product yet, but I mean, a 7th round pick coming in, catching 3 touchdowns and playing the significant role that he did for a 7th rounder, I think that's pretty big. So even though the Vikings are likely going to go wide receiver early, as well as Tajay Sharp's in the building, don't sleep on BC. Ryan O'Sullivan, how the NFL would never be the same after Teddy's knee implosion. Movie about Teddy. Sure. T-Rag, what are your thoughts on Schrager's mock? In my opinion, it's perfect for us. Also, we see Thielen getting Andre Johnson-like stats after Kubiak. Not so much, because stylistically, Andre Johnson, much more of an outside receiver. Thielen. I think Thielen's catch totals will go up. I think his yards per catch will probably go down. But just in terms of him, like, slowly sinking. Actually, comparably, maybe Larry Fitzgerald stats after BA came in with Arizona, moved him in the slot, because Larry was a outside the numbers guy for his entire career, essentially, until BA came in, tossed him in the slot, and really extended his career. So maybe that's a little bit closer. All right, so Schrager's mock. Austin Jackson, 22. AJ Terrell, cornerback, 25. So I like Terrell. I like Christian Fulton a lot better. He went later. And in this draft, which is something that is extremely likely to happen, is that there's a run on tackles early. So the top 5 are gone. Vikings reaching for Jackson. I mean, I like Jackson. I think he needs a lot more polish than the other 5, including Josh Jones. In fact, I actually like Ezra Cleveland, just specifically scheme fit wise for the Vikings. I do like Ezra Cleveland better than Austin Jackson, but I think just reaching for him at 22, just to do it. I don't know, man. Because I mean, Mims is still on board before they take Terrell, and even though I said I'm not a big fan of like Gross Matos or Espinoza as an edge guy reaching early on, or even like a Bond, some sort of meh on that. Next up, Chase and Gelke, Adam Thielen story 100%. Also, CJ Ham would be good for a movie. Yeah, I agree on both, and it would be sort of like in the same vein of the Kurt Warner movie, just a faith family based movie that you see on Netflix. Amaya Deshpande, do you think our need to draft receivers being over exaggerated because we've had the expectations of a great receiving core last year, Thielen, Billy Sharp, and tight ends? I think to a degree, yes, but also because this is such a great wide receiver class and a top heavy wide receiver class that it would almost be rude not to partake. You know what I mean? It was like, it's there. Why not? Jacob Sly. The Alden Smith comeback story. He inked up with Dallas. and that's Dallas. And yeah, Alden Smith, his first couple years with the Niners were amazing. Like he was a true up and coming superstar in this league, and then just personal demons really got in the way. And yeah, he's 30 now, still has time. What financial advice would you give 20-year-old Andy? Well, maybe not me specifically, but I think just like 20-year-olds in general, stay out of debt, save money for a rainy day because it's always going to rain. Like constantly, like be a very aggressive saver, and also buy stocks, buy mutual funds, and don't necessarily try and day trade because I mean it's a fruitless effort. Plus capital gains taxes just destroy you anyway. So I would say find a mutual fund. Usually, since you're younger, like a more aggressive set for a mutual fund. Just go after that, and then also have it like a suite of like about a dozen companies that you really like investing in. For me, so Amazon, Facebook, Nike, Fastenal, which is a local Minnesota company, Medtronic, same thing, 3M. See who else? Oh, Berkshire Hathaway, Class B. Hopefully it'll be a Class A someday. But yeah, just get yourself a nice little suite of companies that you buy stock from regularly, and the rest of it just try and pile into a mutual fund. And like I said, save, stay out of debt, live frugally. Like lots of people, especially young people. I mean, materialistic, travel a lot. Now, traveling is important for sure, but also putting off pleasure is a true sign of maturity. And the time that you're using traveling, the money that you're using traveling now, which is all time and money that you could be investing in yourself, whether it be getting classes, getting additional certificates in whatever pursuit you're in, or starting your own business, and just really putting in that grind time. But hey, please take me back to Ibiza. Cool. So that'd be it. Aclin 14. So that wasn't advice for me, naturally, because I was like a 50-year-old man when I was 20, but just like 20-year-olds in general. Aclin 14. After hearing opponents rejoice time and time again about Adrian's grip, why do you think he is notoriously a bad case of fumble throughout his career? I don't know. It is one of those odd things in it, but carrying the ball, it's not so much about like hand grip as it is like technique. Keeping the ball tucked to your body. Like you look at Shady McCoy, who always carried the ball like a loaf of bread. That's no bueno. Except his fumbling rate is probably lower than Adrian's. Don't have the numbers in front of me, but with Adrian, I think it might just be, just like a cockiness. Could be because he didn't have fumbling. I'm sure he didn't have. I don't have Adrian's Pee Wee or high school stats in front of me, but I'm sure that his numbers were phenomenal. Also, I don't think he had fumbling issues at Oklahoma, so maybe it's just a point of just getting too comfortable. So I'm Adrian. They can't take the ball from me. Actually, let's look up Adrian's high school stats because I feel like they're going to be redonkulous. Stats, Adrian. And not the Georgia Southern Adrian Peterson. I want Oklahoma Adrian Peterson. Oh, the guy's recruiting profile up at 24/7. All right, so Adrian Peterson. Look at young Adrian, man. So 5-star recruit. Number 1 national, number 1 running back, number 1 in Texas, number 16 all time. I want to look at the all time list, so we'll do that in a sec. So Adrian. Looks like we can't find a good one. Oh well. Oh yeah, he was offered by everyone. Oh, so weird. All right, so all-time high school recruiting list via 24/7. So Clowney 1, 5-star, whatever. Robert Kimdichie, who remember just completely flamed out with the Cardinals, whatever. Rashawn Gary, who ended up with the Packers. He wears 52 now. Vince Young, that worked out. Ernie Sims, man, I remember Ernie Sims. I think he ended up with the Lions, pretty sure. But man, 5-star, numero uno. Wow. Ronald Powell. I do not know that man. Oh man. So Ronald Powell ended up being a 5th-round pick in 2014, finished with Florida, and sort of bounced around the league. Is what it is. All right, so Trevor Lawrence, DGB, Dora Green Beckham. Yeah, you guys remember him? Like every single time, it's like, oh, this is the year that he's gonna bust out. This is DGB's year. Justin Fields, Georgia, and then over to Ohio State. Oh, DJ Williams, decent linebacker at the U. How was his NFL career? And yes, I just go to linebacker. Oh yeah, because he was with the Broncos for a hot second. There you go. Brock Berlin. Remember Brock Berlin? So Brock Berlin was like the Gatorade National Player of the Year and all this other stuff. And then he went to like Florida and the U, and it just never really worked out. Like he's like Brock Berlin, as well as Gunnar Kiel, just in terms of like and also who was Tate Martell, just in terms of like the spoiled like pampered hotshot high school quarterback prospect, just does nothing in college. Yeah. Daquan Bowers went to Clemson. He's like the Bucks. He's decent. I think he's a second round pick, but he had shoulder issues. Terrell Pryor Joe McKnight, R.I.P. Yeah. Corey Foreman, never heard of him. Oh, class of 2021. Yeah, that's why I haven't heard of him. There you go. Fournette, Adrian Mario Edwards. Cyrus Kwanjo? Really? Oh, Andre Smith? Yeah, former Vikings legend Andre Smith. Get some. And this is great. Yeah. Bryce Brown. Man. Enough of that. All right, what's next? The rise and fall of Antonio Brown. Yeah, I mean, that certainly is an interesting one. Cole McDonald or Anthony Gordon? Feelings driving. For me, slight advantage Gordon, although McDonald, just that live arm is really intriguing. Where if I'm going to take a late round flyer on a quarterback, I would much prefer complete wild cards like Gordon or McDonald. I mean, don't give me Jake Browning. I mean, I just want a big physical upside guy if we're going to take shots in the 7th round. Sam Woodward. Story of Lonnie Smith from baseball. John Boston's a great movie. All right, so Lonnie Smith. I do not know this man. Or maybe I do, except I just need to be refreshed. All right, so Wiki, Lonnie Smith. Is it the jazz musician? All right, so the pitcher from back in the day. All right. Pittsburgh drug trials. Oh, okay. No, 91 World Series. Oh, that's where I remember him from. Yeah, he was the Jerome against the Twins. There you go. All right. Yeah, maybe. So yeah, I'll check that out from John Boss. Boys. Yeah. Wide receiver situation with the one. I think that's what the situation is going to be. You know, drafting someone who's going to be in the mix, wide receiver 2. I think Chad Beebe is done. I really do. But Sharp and BC will certainly be in the mix as well. Neil Thorne, when do you think the Vikings will fix a putrid O-line? Never. Also, the Steve Bartman game story. Yeah, the Steve Bartman one. I mean, that would be rough. Because if you watch the Bartman 30 for 30, I mean, the way that Chicago fans treated him, like he had to go off the grid. He had to stop using like credit or debit cards. He had to pay cash. He legit had to go into hiding because he was legit worried for his life. Which, by the way, I always put myself like in Bartman's shoes. Like every single fan would have reached for that ball. No one would have thought, "Hey, Moises is coming over, so I better make way for Moises." Who pees on his hands, by the way. I looked that up. So every single fan will reach for it. So I think he was obviously unfairly made the scapegoat, pardon the pun, goat with the Cubs. But also, here's the thing about the Cubs. They had to lose Game 6. Like, they had to lose the rest of the way of Game 6, and then they had to lose Game 7. So don't give me all this BS that it was Bartman's fault. Please. The Cubs finally won the World Series. We can forgive Steve Bartman. It wasn't his fault in the first place, assholes. Fix a putrid O-line? Never. Actually, no. They have a bunch of great young pieces. Brian O'Neill's ascending. I really love Garrett Bradbury. Year 2. Drew Samia's going to be in the mix. And they have a chance to... Yeah, I want one of the big 5 tackles, especially the left tackles. So give me Thomas. Give me Jones. I like Ezra Cleveland a lot. Give me Becton. Yeah, so I'm not overly worried. Jack Johnson, The Real Houseboat Party. Yeah, it's a movie, or at least give us a 30 for 30 about the Love Boat, man. I mean, that would be amazing. What do you think about T. Higgins early? Yes, as well as James Proch in the 5th or 6th. I haven't done a lot of work on Proch, so I'll get back to you on that. Abza Abdi. What movie relates to the Vikings led by Coach Zimmer since day one? hmm. Oh, oh. So the arc from Rocky 3 to Rocky 5 would be Zimmer from the Vikings. So, Rock. Actually, no, the entire Rocky story arc is Zimmer from the Vikings. So Rocky, down on his luck. That was Leslie Frazier 2013. It's been real. It's been fun, but someone's got to pay for 5, 10, and 1. So Leslie Frazier deuces the worst defense in the league. And then comes in Zimmer. Like Zimmer's like Mick coming in, train him. Here's a wrecking machine. And all of a sudden that defense turns into big and bad. And then, Rocky 3 gets a big head. Clubber Lang. How would Clubber Lang fit in? Oh, Clubber Lang is this offseason. Yeah, Clubber Lang is Diggs. And the defense just leaving. And now I fully expect the Vikings to bounce back. We'll beat Clubber Lang. And then Rocky 4 is coming up. The best is yet to come. We got to beat the Russians. Bring it on. All right, so Zimmer versus Putin, by the way. I'd like to see that fight. I got Zimmer. Yeah, so that'd be it. Can't wait to see your review of the fan made mock drafts. Yes, for a while back. If you have. Oh, yeah. So... Sorry, I apologize. I've been lazy. So we put out a call for. So when we do the Q&A, something that quasi annoyed me is when people just put in mock drafts. So I was like, all right, we'll do a specific mock draft video where we just go through and I roast it. Haven't gotten to it yet. Maybe we'll get to it this week. But again, apologies for being lazy. Chris Riesel, Vikings Party Boat Rebank, kind of like ever. Yep. And also Chris is a monthly Jerome, so come along, monthly or platinum Jerome, support the work. Hit that join box down in the description below. Chris Riesel. If we trade back, actually, he might be a platinum Jerome. He has respect. If we trade back trade back and pick up a late 3rd and early 4th, do you think that Rick might take another flyer on Fromm or another QB just to simply on Kirky for a few years? Maybe. Like, I'm not over in love with Jake Fromm State Farm. I do like Jalen Hurts a lot, and just in terms of just betting on the upside. But yeah, there is sort of like a dead zone. I mean, maybe throw an East in there. Maybe. Yeah. Drew Smith. The sports story I want to see turned to a movie is the 1936 U.S. Rowing team. There's also a book called The Boat Boys that's been released. You should read. May check it out. Also, how many sacks do you think Adenabo gets this season? 10. 10. Effing 10. Shadow Grid Ninja. You heard that Aaron Rodgers is retiring? I know it's off topic though. Oh, was this an April Fool's? Meh. Brett Vuvuzelos. Would you take quarterback in later rounds of the draft or not? I would. Rick probably won't. Omar. I really want to see the Vikings use either 22 or 25. I really want to see the Vikings either use it or trade back into the early second round and probably rack more day 3 picks, mid-round talent stacked. Agree. Also, if you were choosing a receiver, who'd you come in and contribute immediately, consistently? Who would that be? Denzel Mims. I like Mims. I like T. Higgins. I really like Laviska Shenault, except he's more of a gadgety type player. Like, better off being your, wide receiver 3, RB 3. But also, I really like Jalen Reagor, and just in terms of trying to pick up someone who would be a decent Diggs facsimile, I think Reagor would be it, especially at the position where the Vikings draft. Also, if you're in the live chat right now, let us know where you're watching from. We'll give some shout outs here in a hot second. So I always love doing that. Zach Hazlius, do you think Rick will trade down and acquire 4 to 5, 6 or 7 round picks? It seems like they always do. Well, he's got 3 7s, so he's got that going for him. And we talked about the reasoning for why Rick seems to do that. It was that if you have players that you really want and you see them as UDFAs, priority UDFAs, instead of trying to jockey with other teams, and also, I mean, the players do have the power at that point where they're essentially free agents. Just pick them up in the 7th. And yes, it is a little bit more guaranteed money. Yes, it is that other thing. No, it does not impact the cap unless they make the 53 or top 51, etc. So I'm actually okay with it. Like think about some decent 7th rounders that they picked up throughout the year. So Adenabo, even though they let him go, he came back, bro. Edmund Robinson, was he 6th or 7th? That doesn't matter. Larry Dean, I believe, was the 7th. Steve Weatherly, 7th. BC was the 7th. Austin Cutting, who, I mean, long snapper, but, I mean, he's brought stability to the position. Yeah, so, yeah, I know they're like, whatever about 7ths, but don't sleep. Actually, let's look that up. Vikings draft history. All right, so Spielman came in, was 06, was de facto GM after Chile left after the 2010 season, so 2011. So say 2011 and then look backwards. All right, we'll look on 6th round on. So Brandon Fusco turned into a decent star for the Vikings here for a number of years. Mr. Raymond was a decent special teams contributor, and that's what you're looking for with 6th or 7th round picks. Next up, so Blair Walsh was okay for a year. Audie Cole was legit for sure. Mike Motti was definitely all up in there. Let's see what else. All right, so Shamar Stephan. Yeah, forgot about Shamar Stephan. Brandon Watts was a decent contributor for a number of years on special teams. Jabari Price, who, I mean, Zimmer really liked Jabari Price. Gave Jabari like every single chance he could get. There you go. Austin Shepard started was in the mix for a couple games. Aforementioned Edmund Robinson. Diggs was the 5th. Weatherly. Kurtz was the 7th. Same thing with David Morgan, 6th rounder. Fadi. Elijah Lee. I think Elijah Lee was on the Niners this year. Stacey Coley was a thing for a hot second. Let's see. Brick on Aude Aruna. Then Oli Udo, 6th rounder. Armand Watts, duh. Marcus Epps would love to have him back from the Eagles. But yeah, pretty legit there. So don't sleep on like the 6th and 7th round guys. Come on. All right, so some shout outs. Scoldger Soup, Maple Grove, Minnesota. Shout out Northwest Burbs. See what else here. Alex Dombrock locked in Duluth. Thanks for live streaming again today. Thank you for watching, making us part of your day, man. Shaq Edwards, New Jersey. Shout out to Turnpike. John Fink, St. Louis. Show me what's going on. Josh Dixon, Virginia. Virginia is for Lover Skull. As well as Skinny Ivory, North St. Paul, representing. That's right. Paul Skinner, Skull from Eden Prairie. What's going on? Cake. Love the cake. There we go. Next one. Foreign Savage 87. There need to be more cricket movies. Well, does a Bugs Life count? They're the best. Do you have any expectations for Dylan Mitchell? I don't really. Like the issues that him coming in need a lot of refinement. That's why I really like BC coming in, because he was really a technician. But for me, Mitchell, Davion Davis, Alexander Hollins, I sort of put them all on the same level. I give a little bit of advantage to Hollins at this moment. Eric Hansen. Belichick's time as Browns coach. Spoiler alert, it ends in a heartbreak for Cleveland, just like it did for Boopy Miles and Friday Night Lights. Yeah, the football life about Cleveland 94 or 95, wherever year they moved. I mean, that was really interesting. Plus, I mean, the last head coach to win a playoff game with the Browns is Bill Belichick. I mean, everything you see with the Patriots, it was starting to come together with the Browns. And you saw like early Patriots years, also the Jets years when he was assistant head coach and D coordinator with the Jets. A lot of those players, a lot of coaches that were with the Browns, they went over to the Jets, they went over to the Patriots, as well as, I mean, that brain trust that they had there with the Browns. All right, so Saban was the D coordinator. Start there. Kirk Ferentz was the O-line coach. I mean, is what it is. See here, who else is in there? Ozzie Newsome was involved in personnel. Mangenius was there. Jim Schwartz was there. Phil Savage was there. Pat Hill, who was a great coach for Fresno State for a number of years, he was there. Al Goro, I think, was there. Or was he with the Jets more? That doesn't matter. But yeah, there was a real brain trust there. And frankly, if Modell had been so damn greedy, if they had worked out a stadium deal with Cleveland, I mean, I think they probably would have won a couple Super Bowls there. I mean, because Belichick did a couple things that were seriously unpopular. So first off, getting rid of Bernie Kosar. That'd be like whichever GM has to cut Adam Thielen, like that's the equivalent of that with the Browns. Even more so because it's a quarterback, right? And so he made tough decisions. You were brought in Vinny Testaverde, but that team was a playoff team, and they were in prime position to make another playoff run before everything hit the fan when it was announced that they were moving. So that would be a great movie. Pilford Skull. Zach Ballas, Northern Colorado. What's up? Marlando Wright, Southside Minnesota. Also, Julian Marker, who's a monthly Jerome. Skull from Egan. Shout out to the Southern Burbs. All right, so Pulford Skull. Trade idea. Stefanski and Andrew Berry call up on draft day. Stefanski says, Rick, you need a wide receiver. I'm willing to trade OBJ for Anthony Harris and your fifth. Do you take the trade, or what do you counter with? Man. All right, let's look who's on the Browns first. Man, that's sort of tough because for all the diva-ness that went into Diggs, and just when you freed yourself of it, they just bring it on back. Man. Oh, Colby Gossett. No, come on in. No, I'm just kidding. It's a little tough. Give us Deho back. All right, so I say Anthony Harris, 4th rounder for OBJ, 6th rounder, and Greedy Williams. Give us Greedy one time. That is all. I really like Greedy. His fall in the draft was something else, man. Fall all the way to 46. I mean, a lot of people saw him as a very early first-round pick. It's kind of crazy. I am Jerome Thielen for a movie idea, for sure. Dog Snippets, Plymouth. Shout out Northwest. Julian Marker, how do we get CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy? I think you may have to trade up past 12. I think it may be that high. Yeah. Tink from DeSoto, go live for the draft. We thought about it. I mean, maybe we will. Maybe we will for round 1, or maybe we will up until the Vikings draft, and then we got to get plugged in on doing some profile videos and get that on the channel. So, yeah, maybe we'll go live for like the first half of day 1. Could do that. We'll hang out. We'll see the picks. It'll be a good time. Johnny Yang Fitness, a fullback Thomas DePay story, former St. Paul Johnson and Gopher draft. No, for the Eagles. Yeah, I vaguely remember Thomas DePay. Not so much from the Vikings, but more the Gophers. It's pretty legit. Reed Hamadal, why did Wabi get fired? I don't know. I don't think we'll ever know. Brett Vuvuzelas, what position do the Vikings need most? I say wide receiver. I say offensive line. I do, because say you had to start the season right now. Like, what positions would you be most worried about? Wide receiver, we like Tajay. We really like BC. You're okay there. Cornerback, I still believe in my Qs. Plus, you got a Holton Hill. Well, I guess maybe a big cornerback. Maybe Chris Boyd can develop something. Probably the lack of slot, minus my Qs is certainly something. But offensive line, man. All right, so Drew Samia, you're betting on. Who's starting at left guard? Elfline? You're not long for Riley Reef long term. So I would say either hammering that guard spot, picking up your left tackle of the future, kicking Reef inside, doing up a lot of things. So I would say offensive line. Salvador Estrada. You trade up to 14, you see Ruggs, and you see Henderson. Who are you taking? So Henry Ruggs, 3rd wide receiver from Alabama. C.J. Henderson, cornerback of Florida. Well, if Ruggs is there and Lamb and Judy are off the board, I would say it's tough because I love Henderson. I really do. I would say Ruggs, because what he brings to the table just in terms of his vertical speed isn't really replicable. Isn't really replicated in the rest of the draft. Whereas Henderson, I mean, he's a better man corner than Gladney and Jalen Johnson, but stylistically, feistiness-wise, I mean, you could get it later on, whether it be top of the 2nd round, probably have trade up, or even at 25. So I would take Ruggs the 3rd. I really would. Zach Ballas. Have you played old school RuneScape? Nope. Abdi again. Cook and Elfline for Colts 2 second-round picks. Or Harris and Riley Reef for Houston 2nd-round picks. I mean, I would do both. I don't think the other teams would. Zach Ballas, favorite Rick and Morty episode? I don't really have a specific one. Oh, Szechuan sauce one. Obviously. Absa Abdi again. I like having 2 first-round picks, but we have 3 big needs, cornerback, receiver, and edge. Should we go big and try to get all 3? I would put offensive line above edge. And I would say no. Salvador Estrada, thoughts on Mexican food? What's your favorite dish? I love Mexican food. I mean, tacos obviously a pretty strong one early on. But tacos al pastor. Come on, baby. Like corn tortilla, a little bit of creme fraiche, lots of lime, lots of cilantro, lots of avocado, lots of salsa on there. Or like corn salsa. I do that too. See, off the menu. Chili rellenos are really good. There's like adult jalapeno poppers. They're good. Oh, just like a really well done mole. It's just kind of hard to find unless you go to an authentic place. But just like that deep, rich, like dark chocolatey sauce is just really good. What you think? Oh, chocolate with a savory dish, bro? No, it really does work. It's amazing. Sam Becker, why do you record your videos at 4 a.m.? We don't. We schedule them. I mean, a lot of times the 4 a.m. videos are just like, I don't know, record them midday, the day before. Henrik Byerlev, monthly Jerome, shout out. I think Josh Gordon's story will make one hell of a 30 for 30. Yeah, especially if he makes a comeback. I mean, that certainly would be interesting. Why does Harrison Smith only wear dope visors in the Pro Bowl and not during the season? I don't know. What are your top side dishes with your meat? So, obviously, the meat's king. For barbecue, I really like just doing a simple slaw. Just get some green cabbage and toss some green onions in there too, and then so I don't like the mayonnaise. I love mayonnaise, but I don't like mayonnaise-based coleslaw. So a little bit of vinegar. Do a little bit of sesame oil. We're gonna go a little bit Asian style. Then a little bit of salt and pepper. Oh, caraway seeds, which is really fun too. Also, a couple packs of stevia. Toss that in there for a little bit of sweetness. So like that for like grilled or barbecue meats. Also, I found just any sort of like roasted or blanched vegetable. Like we like asparagus. We like broccoli. Or like sugar snap peas. We like artichokes for sure. Awesome. Plus, I just like putting hollandaise on everything. Which I know of the mother sauces is probably the most like keto friendly, but it's just like egg yolks and lemon juice and butter and just go to town, win the day. Cobalt Buddy 89, Sid Hartman story. I mean, yeah, respect to Sid. I mean, the fact that he's still doing it, like he started covering sports before World War II, after World War II, one of the two things. It's kind of crazy. I gotta look that up. Because like one of my favorite anecdotes. All right, so Sid Hartman. All right, so born in 1920. Oh. So it's like, how old Sid was when Pearl Harbor happened? He was 21. He was 21 years old when Pearl Harbor happened. Just imagine that. Like, think of how long Pearl Harbor was. Or Sid lived through the Depression. Yeah. Sid was alive during the Roaring 20s. So like Sid as a kid, Sid the kid, as the good times are coming, it's like everyone's doing the Charleston. Oh, the stock market will never crash. A bootlegging. Sid was alive during Prohibition. How insane is that? Sid was 35 when Vietnam was just getting started. Like, how crazy is that? Just All right, next up. If you could play any position in the NFL, what would it be? Let's see some replies. Owner. Yeah, owner would be but like positional player. I would say backup quarterback because you're going to be the favorite guy in town unless you're Sean Mannion, because we know. But also you're going to get $3, $4, $5 million, depending on your track record before. I mean, you're not going to get hit in all likelihood, and it's just nice. You just win the day. It's good. Next up, for movies, Bug Ranch or Chris Carter. Chris Carter one would be for sure good, especially his recovery. From the Eagles coming over to the Vikings. Bought his contract off of waivers for $100, and yeah, that could be a good story. Or Bug Grant low key is a great one where he came up as a multi-sport athlete. He was drafted by the Lakers, the friggin' Lakers. Actually played for the Lakers, didn't he? Yeah. And then name me a modern day athlete who could play in the NBA and in the NFL. And he was a guy he went to the CFL. He left the Eagles because the CFL paid more. What? Yeah. And then he just worked his way up there, won so many Grey Cups, came down here and was one of the greatest NFL coaches of all time. Fortunately, didn't win a Super Bowl, but what can you do there? And it's just great. It's just really great. Also came back to the Vikings 85 after the Les Steckel experiment didn't work out in 84. Just a great, good man, high character, demanded a lot from people. Was just stoic. I mean, Bud Grant is like the Marcus Aurelius of modern day NFL coaches. It was just amazing. It was just awesome. That has like 9 million garage sales. Like, hey, you said 4 years ago this is the last one. How do you keep getting stuff in your garage sale? You guys hear Aaron Rodgers start April Fools, all that stuff. All right, so if you got some questions, toss them in the live chat. Otherwise, what should we do? Should we fire up a mock draft? Because why not? Draft, network, simulator. Actually, let's do what we suggested of doing the mock draft where you select all of the teams. All right, so select all, 1 round manual. Let's do this. All right, so yeah, this is basically how we did our mock draft first. All right, so let's get this into focus. Technology and stuff. Come on, there we go. Eventually. All right. So Bengals, I feel like they can't really screw up Joe Burrow, but they might. In fact, if they feel like they can they can make a move in the second round and get Jordan Love, get Herbert, maybe like Fromm or Jalen Hurts. I mean, Chase, this is a lot like the 06 draft where everyone thought it's going to be either Vince Young or Reggie Bush at 1. Then ended up being Mario Williams just because he's freaking legit. So, yeah, I'm going to say screw it. Let's throw a wrench in this baby. All right, so there. Washington is up next. I mean, they could go quarterback. Don't necessarily see them doing it. But, yeah, I think the replacing of Trent Williams is too much of a... And since we're not doing trades here, so we're going Becton. Bring it on. Lions... I mean, the replacing of Derek Big Play Slay, it's too obvious. But if this happens, and again, no trades, let's go. Let's wrecking go. Although, Ohio State quarterback, former Ohio State quarterback up there in Michigan, whatever. Giants. All right, so need some offensive linemen. At this point. I mean, how can you pass up Isaiah Simmons? Just a complete joker on defense. Do it all. Whatever. Yeah. Did they sign anyone? Because someone said, did you hear about Drake or Patrick? No, whatever. Because we're really good at having news break while we're live streaming. All right, so Isaiah Simmons, he's in. Next up, Dolphins. So now, like, Tua and Herbert are just sitting there chilling. So now the Dolphins get Tua, no big deal. Chargers are up next. So you think that the play here would be get Herbert, right? But also, who's going to replace Russell Okung? Don't really know. Andrew Thomas is there. What is up? So the Chargers are like, you know what? Whatever. Or maybe we'll just sign Cam for a year. Now, the Panthers. I'm jealous of the Panthers, by the way, because they can just sit and all this other nonsense is going to happen. So now you look at, all right, so Derek Brown is just there, which is redonkulous. They go Okuda as well. Man, that's a little tough. All right, Jeff Okuda. Cardinals. So need someone to protect Kyler Murray. You go Wirfs, you go Wills, dealer's choice. Hell, maybe they'll go wide receiver. You have Hakeem Butler. Tristan Wirfs. Except now Jaguars, freaking Derek Brown's just like sitting there like whatever. All right, so the Browns, offensive line, definitely a need. They did pick up Conklin, so the right tackle is taken care of. So, I mean, I think Wills could play left tackle in the league. I think he certainly has a skill set. But also, I mean, maybe they don't go that direction. Maybe they just go BPA. I mean, Chasen is just there, like looking at him in the face. Could go in that direction. I think they do. Boom. So Herbert is still like floating out there chilling. Now the Jets, who have needs of both tackle spots, bring on Jedrick Wills. Now the Raiders. Now wide receiver, you got the top 3 on board. Actually, I'm going to channel Al Davis, change things up. Dun, 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 dun. Speed kills coming on the mountain. Darius Hayward Bay, Bay 2.0. Although I like Ruggs a lot more than Hayward Bay. Something about Maryland wide receivers, man, is something. All right, so the Niners, I mean, their cornerbacks opposite of Sherman are trash. Also need some wide receiver help since they let Emmanuel Sanders go. So I think for them, CJ at this point, Tampa, got to protect Tom Brady. Also, all these other positions of need, positions of need. I mean, do they reach running back here? I don't think they do. I could see them reaching for offensive line help for sure. So actually, they're going to do that. Grab Josh Jones. Oh, it hurts me. All right, so now somehow the Broncos just like sitting there, like they still have their choice between Lamb and Judy. It's pretty amazing for them. So there you go. Falcons. Do you need some cornerback? I mean, but also Javon Kinlaw there. Like this was in our mock. Kinlaw and Grady Jarrett one time together. Gross. Now Cowboys 17, sitting there chilling. All right, so edge guys could go Bond, could go Gross Matos. Espinenza's there. McKinney's there, just winking at him. There you go. Xavier McKinney, welcome in to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, if you're the Dolphins, all right, so you already got Tua, and you're just like, what? What is happening here? All right, so offensive lineman, kind of a reach there at this point, but Delpit coming in. For me, is best all-around safety. Now, the Raiders needed some cornerback help. Christian Fulton, there you go. Jaguars, cornerback. This is going to hurt. This really does hurt. Actually, no, maybe you should go safety. There you go. Take Winfield. Now, the Eagles pretty clearly need some either wide receiver help or linebacker help. Probably get some fresh end corner as well. But for me, they're going off board. Patrick Queen. There you go. So Vikings at 22. So Herbert is there chilling. I think that a team would make a play for Herbert at this point. But yeah. Jerry Jeudy is there, which is amazing. It's almost like I set this up. Gladney's there, but I mean, Judy is too much value to pass up at this point. So the Patriots, I mean, Herbert is there, just winking at him, but screw it. We're going off board. We're going off the board. Where's Jordan Love? Do we pass him? Oh, no, there's Jordan Love. There you go. Herbert still making the rounds. Saints linebacker. All right, so Patrick Queen is there. There you go. Vikings back up on the clock. So now they have their choice of cornerback. So Gladney is on board. Igbenegene is there. Cornerback from Auburn. Trevon Diggs down later on. AJ Terrell. Yeah, so I like Gladney. I like that he just sort of gets after it. Maybe a little bit of a gambler, but I prefer that for cornerbacks. Now, Dolphins. Now they're in kind of a weird spot. So now do they reach for offensive line? I think they do. Ezra Cleveland, come on in. All right, so they list edge, except we're going to say that they do sign Everson. So Cesar Ruiz, come on in. Actually get some Russell Wilson, some protection. Ravens, interesting. So obviously that would have been on either the linebackers. They're gone. Where do they go at this point? They go Mims. Oh, Mims and Hollywood. Kind of an interesting combination. There you go. So Titans. So looking at the board, could go Gross Matos, could go Bond. Give him Bond at this point. Packers. All right, there are no punters in the draft, right? All right, so the Packers are going to take Packers are going to take Matt Womack, who was a backup like utility offensive lineman for Bama. There you go. Suck it. Niners take Herbert. Really kills the trade value for Kirk Cousins, but what can you do? And then the Chiefs bring out home. They take Trevon Diggs. Good. So there you go. So that is it. Just run it impromptu first round mock. Strange things happen. What can I do there? But that is it. Heart you guys. You guys really are the best. Thanks for coming along on the live stream today. I will be back 11 a.m. tomorrow. And we'll put in Thanks for streaming, Jeromes. Back tomorrow. With your Q&A, we'll talk some more draft, do that stuff, pass the time as we're in quarantine. It's all good in the hood. Skull, production value.